Emotional hack. What about, or what if you could see crying as another function of your biological experience, as going to the bathroom, doing number one or number two, or as washing your face, or as taking a shower? Crying is actually extremely healing for your body. Why? Because you're expressing an emotion. So what happens if you don't linger or you don't get into the suffering of it, as in, why is this happening to me, the victim mode, or I need to make sure that everyone knows, or why always everything is like this for me and I'm so mad because you have it and I don't, the tyrant mode? What happens if crying becomes this sort of just getting into the ocean? That moment that you go to the beach and you know that you just need that dive into the water, and it's going to be so cleansing and so balsamic for you. What about if it becomes that cleansing juice that you do every morning? If we can connect to our bodies and drop into our bodies from a place of detachment and from a place of complete biology, which is what I suggest in erotic spirituality, that we go back to that primitive experience of feminine energy and what our ancestors, matriarch experience were doing, you realize that crying is actually delicious as laughing. You won't be anymore judging that one is positive and the other one is negative. And therefore, you will become another experience of yourself in emotional mastery. Emotional mastery is that emotions are not tying you up or putting you on a leash. On the other hand, they are actually just washing you away, and you allow them to come and possess you for a moment, and then they wash away everything that they need to wash away. So it's actually a self-care and also like a, how do you call this? Like hygiene. Yeah, exactly. It's like hygiene. It's like brushing your teeth. It's the same thing. Try it. Today, for example, I didn't have any reason to cry. I'm not necessarily sad or anything, but I had a moment that I had an interaction, and after I had it, I experienced like this amount of anger, and I was like very mad. And so I didn't need to share it with the person because I know it's my thing, but I had a moment that I was like screaming all over the place and just walking up and down through my apartment and having a moment to just let it out. And I started crying. And while I was crying, I realized I'm not crying because of anything in particular or because I'm sad or because something happened. It's a function of my body. And if I can see it like that, as I was saying, it's a physiology kind of thing. It's water coming out of my eyes. It was very, 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 very healing. And I was able to kind of like decompress. And after I did it, I was more clear, but not from a place of thinking, but from a place of my body was more ready and able to receive what was happening. I encourage you to connect to the wisdom that is in your body.